Welcome to your third Roblox scripting tutorial. Today we're going to learn about functions. Now, a function allows you to run code over and over again. Now, you might be wondering, well, why can't we just copy and paste this code, right? It's going to run over and over again now. Okay, kind of true, but let me show you what a function does. A function could allow you to reduce this code down to maybe this much, right? So if we wanted to change the transparency of this part, we could create a function which would set the transparency of the part, but instead of having to say game.workspace.alvinblocks.transparency every single time, we could just call it by a simple name. Let me create a function for you. So if we say function, and then you give it a name. So this function is going to have some code in it, which will do something. And my function is going to change the transparency of a part. So I could say change transparency. That could be my name. Now, what you do after that, you put a pair of parentheses or brackets, then you drop a line, and you can see that the script has added this end for me. Now you can see this arrow here has indented the code. When we say indented, it means that it's just pushed it forward a little bit. And you can see if you press tab, it indents it even more. So it's typically around the size of 4 spaces, right? That's the size of an indent. But if we press the tab here to indent our code, it's always good practice to indent your code when you are inside a block of code. This is called a code block because it's the code that's going to go in the middle is sandwiched within this function. So it's a code block. Now, any code that we put inside of here, in between these two lines within this function, is going to run whenever we call the function. So it's not going to run immediately. So if we put this code in here, get rid of that. Now, if we run the game, it's not going to change the transparency of the part. Nothing has happened. And that's because we have not yet called our function. So we have declared this function. We've defined the function. We have told the script, this is a function. Whenever we call it, it's going to change the transparency of the part to 1. But it has not, it's not executed itself yet. We haven't called the function. Now, if you wanted to call the function, it's very simple. We just have to write out the name of the function and put a pair of brackets after it. And that is telling to the script that we want to run this function. We want to execute it. We want to run the lines of code that are inside of it. So it's going to get to line 1. It's going to see, okay, this is a function. We have got it defined. So the script now knows that if you ever call the name of the function with a pair of brackets later on in the script, it is going to run any code inside of it. So we get to line 1. Okay, this is a function. Cool. Let's get to line 3. We're not going to run any code within it. We're just simply acknowledging that it's there, and later on we might use it. So then we go to line 4, nothing here. Line 5, okay, right, change transparency. And the script remembers that this is a function that we just created. So it's going to look up the function that we made here, and it's going to say, okay, let's run all of the code that is inside of it line by line. So it's going to start at the top. It's going to say game.workspace.alvinblocks.transparency equals 1. It's going to set that part's transparency. And it will then move on to the next line, and it will see that we're at the end of the function. So it's going to stop running this function. It's just going to go back to line 5 now. So now that this function has finished, if there was any code that was underneath it, such as this print hello, it would move on to the next line and it would print out hello. But in this case, we have no lines after this function call. On line 5, this is where we're calling the function, we're telling it to run. So it's just going to end the script. If we run the code, you can see the part has gone transparent from the get-go, from the very beginning. And that is because we have called the function first in the script. It's the first thing we've done, right? Aside from defining this function. So it's going to happen instantly. So there's not much really that's different in terms of you start the game and boom, the part already goes transparent. So what is so good about functions? Well, it's a way to reduce the amount of code that you have to write. So if we have this function here and we want to keep changing the transparency of a part, we wouldn't have to keep on writing game.workspace.alvinblocks.transparency. We could just say change transparency. But this is just going to set the transparency of a single part to 1 value all the time. So why is this useful? Well, what we can do is instead of just setting the transparency of 1 part, because that's the only part that's going to change because the part in our function is always the same one, we can use parameters. And parameters are really, really useful. They allow us to keep our functions dynamic. And when I say dynamic, I mean that each time that we call this function, it could do something slightly different. It could change a different part each time, or it could set the transparency value to something different each time. But we still wouldn't have to be saying game.workspace, then put the part name, and then put the property name, and then set the value, right? So a parameter is some data which you will input into the function here. Well, we haven't got onto variables yet. We'll get onto variables in another video, but we can put some parameters, and these are the things that will change each time we run the function. So for example, we could have a parameter for the part that we're going to change the transparency of, and we could have a parameter for the new transparency value. So we could set new transparency. Okay, these, you don't matter what they call them, you can call them anything you like. You just have to remember the order that you set up your parameters for. And then the order matters because whenever you call the function, you will have to specify the part first. So it could be game.workspace.AlvinBlox. That's going to be our part. And so game.workspace.AlvinBlox is going to be our part. Okay, and then we do a comma to tell the script that we now are going to write our second parameter. And we're going to write the new transparency value. So I could say 1, okay? And now let's change the code inside our function because we want to say part.transparency because part is the object that we are defining here. And we're setting that to our new transparency value. So the script is expecting for the part parameter to be an object, which it is. This is an object in the workspace, and it's expecting the new transparency to be a number, which it is, because we're setting the transparency property, which of course requires a number. Now, something I just wanted to note is that the parameters are the placeholders which you define in your function, and the correct name for these values, the values that you put in when you call your function, these are called arguments. So the arguments are the ones which contain the actual values, which you're going to insert to your function, and these are the parameters because they're just the placeholders, the names of your future arguments. So these are the parameters, and these are the arguments. So now that we've done that, we run the code, and it's going to do the exact same thing, make the part transparent, fully transparent. But now we could change this to 0.5 and it's going to become semi-transparent. There we go. You could even set it to 0. It would stay as it currently is. Totally opaque, would be able to see through it. But what you can see is that we've set up this function. We've basically written out the code to change the transparency one time. And if we wanted to change the transparency later down the line, when the game was running, say 5 seconds later, you can say wait, and then in parentheses or brackets, you write the number of seconds that you want to pause for, and the script will just pause at this line. So you can see the changes that you made earlier. And then if we wait 5 seconds, we could change the transparency to something else. Let's set this to 2 seconds actually, because I don't want to wait that long. So we've called the function again, and this time it's going to set the transparency to 0.75. So we should see it being half transparent when the game starts. And then 2 seconds later, it goes even more transparent. So the function allows us to save code because we can call the function multiple times and we can stop having to write out game.workspace.AlvinBlox.transparency all the time. But also, it just is really simple. It allows us to call a function and we don't have to do the same thing each time. We can have different transparency values. We could have different parts. You know, it doesn't just have to be the part in the workspace called AlvinBlox. We could have a part called subscribe, and we can go back into our script and we don't have to say game.workspace.subscribe.transparency. We could say change transparency, and this time we say game.workspace.subscribe, and we can set that part's transparency as well. So if we click on run, we should have one going half transparent and one going fully transparent. Okay, so that is how a function can be used. And you may be wondering, well, you know, what's the point? I mean, it's not too bad having to write out game.workspace.AlvinBlox.transparency all the time. And you'll see that in the next video, because in the next video, we're going to look at events, how to make things happen in the game. How do you run code when something happens in the game? Like, how do I make some code run when I step on that brick, or when a new player joins the game, or when someone says something. How do you hook up the code that you want to run to the event, to the thing that's going to happen when a player steps on a brick, for example. And that's what we're going to look at in the next video. But that's why it's so important to learn about functions. They're so cool because they let you write code that you're going to execute later on. So you can write out your code, which you might not necessarily want to run straight away, because we know that a script runs a script starts running when the game starts. And we don't want all of our code to run as soon as the game starts. So we can write functions which we can call later on in the game. So thanks for watching your third scripting tutorial. Like I said, the next video is going to be about events. It's going to be really exciting. It's going to make you able to do really cool things in Roblox Studio. So subscribe, like the video if you enjoyed it, share it with a friend if you thought it was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.